Anne Arundel County has several magnet program opportunities that provide specialized courses of study around focused themes. For example, STEM, Performing Arts, International Baccalaureate, and Biomedical Allied Health. We recently spoke with Dr. Joe from the AACPS Magnet Office to talk about the program and also deadlines. Hi, Dr. Joe. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do at AACPS?
Sure. So I'm the Magnet Program Teacher Specialist. That means that I work on recruitment with students, looking at them from grades, we recruit in grades 5 and 8 for them to enter into the Magnet programs in grades 6 and 9. We do a lot of recruitment, we do encouragement, we talk with parents, application process, and then finally after everything goes to a lottery, we then notify the parents, and then I deal with the parents and the students, getting them in and thinking about the new year.
Great, great. And for parents like me who are still up and coming in the school system, I have a second and third grader, can you explain what exactly is the Magnet program?
Sure. So a Magnet program is a specialized program and course of study that may be at a school that's not the same as the child's home school. So it's a way, it's part of the programs of choice, and it's a way for the students to make decisions about their future, studying a curriculum different from their own. Okay. So that's what, in general, what a Magnet program is here. And so we solicit applications for students in the fall of their 5th and 8th grade for entry into grades 6 and 9. The International Baccalaureate program has a special part of it. It's called the Diploma program, and that's grade 10 application for entry in grade 11 and 12.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, but currently in the county we have 4 Magnet program opportunities for students.
Correct.
And it's BMAH,
right.
STEM, International Baccalaureate, and
PVA.
PVA.
Right. So the STEM and biomedical, so let's take it, in high school there are 4 programs, in middle school there are 3. The 4 programs are the biomedical STEM program. So it's a STEM program, just with a biomedical twist or bent.
Okay.
The other STEM programs, and those are at 3 different high schools. The biomedical program is at Glen Burnie High School. The STEM program in the northern part of the county is North County High School, and then it's South River for the southern part of the county. Those are the 3 STEM schools for high school. For the middle school, it's divided equally. So it's Central Middle School, and then it's at Old Middle South, and then Lindale Middle School for the northern part of the county.
Okay.
So that's STEM. Going now to the International Baccalaureate, there are 3 at the high school and 3 at the middle school. The 3 high schools are Annapolis High School in the southern part of the county, along with Annapolis Middle School for the middle school counterpart. And then we have in the middle part of the county, it's Old Mill Middle North and Old Mill High School. And in the northwest part of the county, it's MacArthur Middle School and Meade High School. So that's International Baccalaureate. And then the Performing Visual Arts are middle school and high school. At the northern part of the county, it's Brooklyn Park. Okay. Southern part, it's Bates. And then the high school is split. It depends on what field you're going into. If it's music related, it's Broadneck High School. Non-music goes to Annapolis High School. Okay. So there are 3 major programs, and STEM is split in biomedical STEM and non-biomedical STEM. Okay.
So as a parent, if I'm weighing options for my student, what are the benefits of enrolling them or trying to get into one of the Magnet programs versus following along on the standardized curriculum?
So this is the parent in me coming out. I think I would look at what kind of child I have, what the child has interests in, and has a commitment to. So it's a commitment. We're asking the child in a Magnet program to commit to all 3 years of middle school and all 4 of high school. So that's you know, that's sort of, you have to know your child first, know the interests. If you don't know what you want to do, that's the chance you can apply to more than one Magnet program. And then you have a more discernment process. So this is what the process looks like. In the fall of the school year, we invite we come to the schools, and the counselors talk to the students about, hey, here's a Magnet program for you. We'd like you to think about it, right? And so in October, November, the students apply, and then we go through a discernment process. We evaluate if they're eligible for PVA, for Performing Visual Arts. They go through an audition process. Otherwise, it may or may not require an interview for the non-PVA. And then they apply, and then everything goes through a lottery. In the Anne Arundel County Public Schools, we're unique. We use a non-weighted lottery. So that means once a child is eligible, he goes into the pool. So all children are eligible, go into the same pool, and there's nothing marked in any way. It's a randomized and unweighted lottery. And then we notify the parents in the spring. So it's a year-long process. And the discernment process could even start as early as So as I said before, we accept applications in 5th and 8th grade. It starts in 4th and 7th. In the spring of every 4th and 7th grade, we ask the students to come to a location to learn about what's going to be coming up in the fall. So they have a couple of months ahead of time. The difference is that they change grades, so 4th graders and 7th graders become rising 5th and 8th graders, and then in the fall the process starts again.
Okay.
So and the reason is we wanted to provide opportunities. It's part of the programs of choice. You have a choice to go to your home school, which is fine, or choose one of these other options for you.
Sure. And if you do choose to go to a magnet school and enroll your children in, do you still get a well-rounded education? Things like if you would go into the STEM program, you still are exposed to culture and the arts and physical education and all of that, but it's just a more focus on the STEM classes. Is that how it works?
Sure. So you have to graduate from we have to prepare you in middle school for graduation from high school. So you have to graduate from a comprehensive high school at some point, right? This is just a specialized curriculum, courses of study. So you get some things that are different, but you have to get everything to meet graduation requirements, right?
Okay.
So you still get it. There's still opportunities to take advanced placement courses. You can still participate in after-school activities. I mean, so the commitment is there for the course of study, but it isn't so drastically different that you couldn't graduate from a high school.
Got
right?
it. So you
Still
still
have
get a
the same
well-rounded education. You just get more of a focus in those individual areas.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's you get some intensive training, and there are opportunities. Also, for the students that don't participate in a magnet program, almost every school has some sort of co-curricular activities. That's the term we use for after-school activities. That's a way for students to get involved if they didn't want to become involved in a magnet program. And so that's another way for them to see what's out there. So there are lots of rich art activities in the county, certainly applied math activities, science activities. So there are lots of kinds of things we could do, and also the worldly minded part of International Baccalaureate.
Great. So STEM, obviously, science, technology, engineering, and math, performing arts. Can you explain what is International Baccalaureate?
Sure. So if you're looking at an International Baccalaureate education, it's looking at your place in the universe. So let's just take it locally first. A student is saying, okay, how do I connect all the dots among all my courses that I have now? That's one of the ways. What impact am I going to have on society, locally and then globally? How am I going to become a citizen of the world in the future? So if you're looking at it from my standpoint, this is a parent standpoint now.
Sure.
I get to understand about different cultures. I make connections among all my courses and among peoples that how are we alike, how are we different, and it's heavy into inquiry. How are we thinking? So if you're interested in developing a child who's critical thinking and sort of delving into what do I think about? How do I think? What is it that I'm going to do for the universe in my future? That's an International Baccalaureate education.
Okay.
It also, we're also looking at more foreign language for the students, more social studies. I mean, that's the kind of thing we're looking for in all magnets, and also increasing the ability for the students to connect everything together. So this isn't a college major. We're still, they're still in middle school and going into high school.
Yeah.
We want to get them well-rounded anyway. But this is an opportunity for them. It's just an opportunity that exists now that didn't a few years ago. It's it's sort of. I wish they had existed when I was going to school.
Sure.
These are great opportunities.
I know everything that my kids are going through right now. It's amazing.
Yep, very different.
Now you talk about eligibility. How is that designated? Is it certain standardized testing scores? Is it report card grades?
Right.
How do you qualify someone as eligible to even put in an application for the lottery?
Right. So let me talk to this past year.
Okay.
PARCC scores were not released yet, and we didn't have a baseline for PARCC scores. We couldn't use them. That's the standardized testing they use in Maryland this year. We used grades, and so we have a couple different pathways. So let's just say a student is a great student. That's good. We've seen the grades, not a problem. If a student had a rough year, and we look at 4th and 7th grade grades for them, they had a rough year, so something could have happened. We don't know what that is. That meets a minimum requirement. After all, they have to graduate from a high school. We'd want them to graduate, with a good GPA, and help them grow their own talents and skill sets. And then we look at them. So the students, for example, that have, let's just say between a 2.5 and a 3.0 on the scale of a 4.0, we'd like them to, we may interview them, we may ask for recommendations. We're asking them to, tell us what happened, what's your commitment to academics, what's your commitment to the magnet program. So we use grades a lot right now, so whatever marks they got in the year before, that's important. So the one piece of advice I could ever give to parents is please support your children, and that they do well.
And their interests.
Yeah, and we want to develop their interest and skills and get to know your child and what are you interested in, what would you like to do, and what are the possibilities that you have open to you, right?
Sure.
For high school, there's also the CAT Center, so the Centers of Applied Technology, North and South.
Okay.
That's another part of the puzzle. They could go as a career exploration in grade 9, and then in grade 10 they decide their different pathways or what they'd want to study. That's another part of the programs of choice. So there are lots of opportunities here in Anne Arundel County.
Now, based on the enrollment in the magnet programs, do you feel that it represents that we have such a diversity in the county? Do you feel that it represents the diversity of the county?
Actually, so in the last 5 years, the magnet programs are more diverse in the county. So what we do is we look at the Maryland report card, and that's the reporting device that the state holds. Anne Arundel County reports to the state, and then we look at the sort of the demographics of the county. So we look at for poverty and for other demographics, right? And we are more diverse in the magnet programs than the county is. So it's holding, it's great, and yeah, we're encouraging all children. So we want to encourage all children who can apply to apply.
Great.
And that's my main job. So if you asked me a little bit ago, my main job is to encourage children and parents to look at their options and to apply if they're interested.
Okay. Say, for example, a child enrolled in a magnet program and then changed their mind and decided they wanted to go back to the standard curriculum. Is that possible, or once you're in, you're in?
Ideally, we'd like for them to stay, in the program for the commitment for the entire middle school and high school sequence. If a child has to exit for whatever reason, and many children move, so most of the exits from the magnet programs are because of moving.
Physical relocation?
Yep. The parents move. We're in a, as you know, Anne Arundel County is home to a lot of military families, so military families cannot choose when they go and where they go. So that's the biggest exit we have out of it. They can do it. We'd like them not to, though. We'd like to support them. There are supports available for students that may find some academic courses more difficult, but we have supports for them. Okay. But we'd like them to make the commitment that this is they found their home, they found their niche. Yeah.
And how is transportation handled? Because it is only certain schools throughout the county that offer the magnet programs. Right, is there any transportation plan, or is it parent supported to get their kids there?
No, so the transportation office does a great job. We have 80,000 students in Anne Arundel County. They have to map out where everybody lives and sort of what bus stops are going to happen. They do also for the magnet programs. So there is transportation provided. It's usually at a community or consolidated bus stop that may not be the normal one for the child.
Like a library or something like that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the commitment from the parents is to get the child to and from the bus stop. Okay. And that's it. So it depends on where you live. In August of every year, the transportation office finally looks at all the children who have accepted seats, right? And then they look at the addresses, and then they pinpoint where the best bus stops for the entire county.
So if you have work obligations as a parent, that shouldn't hold you back. There is some centralized transportation stops to be able to get them to school.
Absolutely, and I know it's a big job for everybody. So the parents' big job is raising the children, right, and send them to us, and thank you. The transportation office, though, has 80,000 children. I mean, so it's like one big happy family. They have to get them all to and from school. It's an amazing job they do, but transportation is provided. It's just, it's a massive job, as you might understand.
Great.
Sure.
And with, deadlines coming up and applications and interviews and auditions, where can parents turn for more information?
Sure. The easiest way to go is, so our URL in Anne Arundel County, the website is aecps.org. That's our major one. /magnet in the singular, MAGNET. And there's lots of information posted there. We post everything for the parents there. That's the best way they can do it.
Great.
And call them
so if you have a rising 5th grader right now or a rising 8th grader, you should really know your options and start preparing.
Absolutely. So, and I'd even, suggest that the parents prepare in 4th and 7th grade. Like, how am I going to support you to do well this year? What are the options? Ask the counselors in the school. They're very involved. I mean, the counselors are my best colleagues because they're the ones that have the constant contact with the children in the schools. And let's just say at every 5th and 8th grade, there are 5,000 students at each of those grades. That's a lot of children with whom to have contact. So they're the best bets too. But I'd start in even 3rd and 4th grade looking at it. 4th grade's definitely supporting it. 5th grade absolutely getting involved. Same thing for 7th and 8th. So it's a multi-year process, right? And so it has great rewards and benefits for the children.
Yeah, well, lots of exciting things going on. Great. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Joe.
Thank
you. It was great to talk to you.
Great to talk to you. Have a great day.
You too. I'm Kathy Schaefer, and this was Parents Corner on AACPS TV. Like our Facebook page to stay up to date on show topics. Thanks for watching.